What's up, everybody? Welcome to Daily Refinement. On today's channel, we're going to do our daily mastermind, which we do Monday through Friday, but just on Wednesdays on YouTube. And today's topic is what would help you list more items correctly on eBay. So you can't just list random items that never sell. Those are the same as not listing anything at all. So I want to talk about one thing that I don't talk about on my channel a lot, but that is value. Most people's listings are not providing good value. So as an example, Eduardo, I'm just gonna call you up for just a moment. Eduardo lives in a different country. So when he ships his items, it takes longer to get to the customer than somebody here. We had a gentleman in the group that was in Canada. He was selling iPhones for $10 cheaper than the market and only getting 1% of the views. So if you list the same iPhone for $10 under market in the United States, you will sell your iPhone in 5 minutes. But because he was in Canada and had the decreased visibility, both myself and Tech and Sports were not even able to find his phone. It was like on page 10. So no one ever saw the phone. He could never sell it, even though he was $10 below market. So the visibility was very, very poor. So he switched. He figured out how to fulfill in the United States, and his sales are up like 10,000%. So he shipped all of his items to the United States. They're fulfilled here now. He gets all the visibility. He's killing it now because the value to the customer is much lower. If you have to wait for it to come from a different country, people are less likely to buy it from you because the value is lower. If you take pictures and the pictures are really dark, that's a low value to the customer. They don't know what the item looks like. If you don't put the right item specifics in the title, it's a low value to the customer because they don't know exactly what it is that they're buying. So today's topic is what can you do to help you list more items correctly on eBay? For me, my inventory system is preventing me from listing more items because I'm doing all the shipping myself. And I would rather be using 100% of my time listing because when you list, you become an expert in your niche, which is very, very important. And I would say what slows people down in the group the most is research time. So the more you know about your topic, the more you know about your niche, the faster you can list. And if you're listing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, then you will win the listing contest because you already know everything about that item. So let's start with Brian. Brian, good morning. What can you do to list more items correctly on eBay?
Good morning. Yeah, that's a good question. I guess for me, like I'm kind of like in the I've narrowed down my niches, and in those I'm fast. But of course, I don't know if it's squirrel brain or what. But now I'm moving back to more shoes. I'm trying to get my ASP up and my sell through rate up since I got rid of VAs and it's just a one man show. I just want to kind of max out what I can do. And I think shoes would be a big part of that for me. So at this point, it's like becoming an expert in shoes. Like I have a fair amount of knowledge about shoes, but I'm not an expert. I am an expert like on Western button up shirts because I sell a lot of those. And when I list those, I don't have, like you said, I don't have to spend the time researching them. I already know. I can tell by the brand, the pattern, what to price it at, and that saves a lot of time. But with shoes, I don't know that, so I'm having to I don't spend a lot of time, but I have to spend a little bit of time quickly comping. So I've got to put more time into research and just becoming an expert. And I don't know if there's a shortcut to that. I think it's just putting in the reps.
There might not be. So let me give an example of shoes. So if you go to eBay, and I just listed a pair of Chacos this morning. So what I'm doing is every single morning before this call, I'm listing as many items as I can. So this is a pair of Chaco Kids. So I think I would search Chaco Kids 4, but based on this, maybe I would post it in the unisex kids or unisex girls category. I actually didn't do that though. I listed it in the boys category so I don't know, maybe people aren't looking for chacos for boys or looking for either unisex or girls. That does matter. So the way I would look for it is Chaco Kids 4, and this is my listing right here. So this popped up. It probably is popping up first because I just listed it myself. But what I want to do is, since I have the box, I want to display that in the picture because I think that that matters. But I think that what would help me list faster, I like Tim's Lazy Susan because then I can take these rotating pictures faster if I can just rotate them rather than moving them. But I think that having this sequence, because I take the pictures now in every, I take the pictures the same way. This photo, I am struggling to make sure that it's the right, because sometimes people ask me, what's the insole or what's the outsole? I'm, I would like to include this picture so I don't have to answer that question, but I don't know how to take it so that it's not, I don't really know from this picture because I'm not an expert in selling shoes. How to, like, do I take the insole out? That also takes more time to get this picture. So that's something. And then let's see. But yeah, the more I manually list, the faster I'm gonna get at this. And so I want to spend all my time listing. And that reminds me of Eduardo too. He has somebody doing the picking for him, somebody doing all the other stuff for him. So that's great. That means he can focus all day on the most important thing, which is becoming a master of his niche. And so he could be listing 10, 12 hours a day because everything else is taken care of by other people. But that makes you an expert. And I think that the more and more, that really is the number one key to listing faster is knowing what it is that you're selling. Um, Thomas, what's up? Good morning. Can you chat?
Morning, yeah.
What are you
First
working
time
on? First
showing
time.
up.
Awesome. What are you doing?
What am I doing right now? Listing some sweaters I took pictures of yesterday. I drive my friend to the airport, so I actually had to get up in the morning.
I love it.
What can I do to make myself list more? I think the biggest thing would just be have someone else take pictures for me, get more photos up.
Yep.
Right now I do the clothes. I have somebody who does about 100 classes for me a day. If I had another person to do that for me today, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But the big mission today is I'm going to go out to local optometrists and suppliers to try to create a local network of buyers I can get a bunch of glasses from
I love it.
instead of sourcing on eBay and around the area.
I have to thank you, Thomas, because it was you that made me realize that I'm not an expert in clothing. Because
Really? Why?
yeah, because when I saw you answering people's questions, like a good idea of what tags are which, a good idea of what materials are which, the best platforms to sell different kinds of clothing. There's a lot like there's a lot to clothing, there's a lot of item specifics. And knowing the materials, knowing the tags, knowing the styles, I mean, honestly did not know all those things were so important until I saw your responses to a lot of the posts. Then I realized I got to get more into it.
Yeah, appreciate that. The
Yeah.
biggest thing I've learned is I sell a lot of women's clothing, and I don't know shit about styles, but what I do know is I know that like when I can look at a tag, number one, the brand, that's either yes or no, and the number two, fabric tag. If I can narrow stuff down just based on pure like facts, if it's wool, if it's cashmere, if it's angora, those kind of things, that helps me, and it helps me tell people that find stuff for me whether or not something is inherently valuable, because it makes it easier instead of going like, oh, like that style. Like if something's Aztec, almost every time pick it up unless it's a really low end brand because it sells really quick.
Mm-hmm.
But a wool sweater versus a cotton sweater, if it's vintage, is worth an entirely different amount. And if it's cashmere, you could come up on something that's $200-300 versus a cotton sweater that's worth 10, just based on the brand. So I've just come down to the things that I myself can do, especially when it comes to style, especially when it comes to things that only I can understand, because I don't know anything about styles. It's just brand and some other things that are facts.
But you said like off the cuff, like anything with Laurel Piano materials, right? So that should be something that you think about when you're sourcing. If you see it,
Oh yeah.
then yeah,
Yeah, the difference is I tend to shop at like higher end stores. So I have no problem. Like I spent $100 on 5 different Coogee sweaters, like 100 each, because I know that I can sell them for 250, 300 each. There's some cool ones.
yep,
I have no problem paying up, which is a difference for a lot of people. And at those stores, there's different, like I come across those fabrics. I come across different things that a lot of people wouldn't come across. Like so when I go into a store and it comes time to go to like sports coats, I don't look at any of the brands. I just run my hand across the top and I can
yep.
tell whether or not it's camel hair, cashmere, or anything. And really, those are the only things that you should really be looking at these days, because sport coats sell so slowly that the biggest way to easily divide things is just based on feel and touch.
This is
So
why this is why I know that you're an expert, because most people don't know by feel what it is. They don't know what materials. Like usually you would think not knowing women's styles would prevent you from selling women's clothing, but it doesn't.
no, because yeah. I mean, like, so there's certain things, like I know that a toggle coat is really good. I know, I guess when it comes to men's clothing, it's easier because there's just so many fewer styles. You know, when it
Yep.
comes to a sweater, it's a pullover sweater, it's a button sweater.
Right.
Like there's rarely an open sweater, and there's not really like long or short. Like there's not cropped styles like there's with women. It's kind of a goofy thing.
That's right.
Yeah, but
I
yeah.
love it.
So with women's, it's just things that I can easily define and I can easily tell, rather than something that I guess a woman who's more involved in it would be able to know.
I would say that I agree with you. With if I gave you my photographer, you'd probably make $1 million a year on eBay, because she takes photos exactly the same and hundreds of photos every day. So like that is such a game changer. And I think you can teach someone to take perfect photos much faster than teaching somebody how to list, because there's so many item specifics. But photos, um, that's a game changer. If you have somebody part-time or full-time taking photographs, that's will help you list a lot more if you can actually list.
So I'll push back on the item specifics. I
Yeah.
mean, so right now you're calling me an expert. I'm not going to call myself an expert, because quite honestly, you guys uploaded all those different sheets with all those different item specifics, and
Yep.
if you read them, you'll be an expert. I look at them, and if I don't know them at this point,
Yeah.
I don't really see the value in knowing them. Like when it comes down to sleeve type, and it's
Yep.
like bell versus kimono versus this,
Right.
I come across a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
I might list 2 or 3 kimono sleeves like a year. Like,
Right.
what's the real value in me ever writing that down or even putting it in? Because if I like me filling in that box,
Right.
going down to kimono sleeve, what is the chance someone's going to be searching for kimono sleeve? Like, wouldn't they rather be searching for I don't know, Cinzia Roca coat or something? Like it's
Well, but
kind of like, sorry, what are you gonna say?
you're a master in the required item specifics. Like you're heavy on brand knowledge.
Mhm.
And you understand, like, if you're buying a cardigan, short, medium, long, what it's made out of, brand, that's 99% of it.
Yeah,
You're right.
but
You're right. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying, like, so that's 99% of it.
Yeah.
What is the other 1% of knowing the sleeve type? And I'm sorry, but like the other
Yeah.
microcosms of collars.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with you.
like when it comes down to collars, it's cowl neck, it's V-neck, it's crew neck, it's open front. Like, and open front isn't even an option. It's not even an option. So what is the point? Like in feature, you have to put in open.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, what do you put in? I put in V-neck when it comes down to an open front thing, because that's as close as you can get.
Okay.
But, I mean,
Let me back up. I consider you an expert in listing clothing,
okay.
because the actual knowing every single thing about every single garment, that person does not list a lot of items.
Yeah. Yeah. That person's working for Forever 21 and making the items.
That's right. And I think that yeah, I had my last lister was she worked at Forever 21. They changed the styles every 2 weeks. So imagine working there for a year and getting 26 different, completely different item specifics you need to describe to customers. And her listings with the extra 2 or 3 words that only she would know, they don't sell faster.
Mm.
No,
No,
they don't.
because most people don't know.
Most
One
people
thing
don't
that's
know.
crazy about those things is like if you ever see the sheets that the measurements have for like every single garment of Forever 21, because when they send these to like when they send these to not the suppliers, the manufacturers in China, the extra small versus the medium, all of those have very particular measurements. Like if we complain about taking, a chest and a back measurement, it is unreal the stuff they need. Like the side seam, the seam of the under thing, the cuff. I mean, like, and it's so beyond like anything that I would need to know or any of us would need to know.
Yeah.
That I mean, like, so item specifics are great. Yes, they're very important. Fill in the required ones, fill in some of the recommended ones. I don't like even a lot of those are really silly to me, but
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas.
No problem.
Mandy, how can you list more items? Hopefully she can chat.
Oh yeah. Mine is trusting myself on my pricing buckets. I've only been here for about a month and a half, and I was the one who researched every single item to make sure I maximize my time, how much I was bringing on every single item. So breaking that habit of saying, okay, yes, because I do jewelry, this necklace, I know it's this brand, it's $19.99, $29.99, $39.99, and not doing the okay, $22.99, $36.99, because that $2 that I think I'm going to get, I'm probably going to take an offer anyways. I can spend that 2 minutes and put another listing up to make another, whatever my ASP is.
So I have a question. I know you sell jewelry, but do you enjoy and wear a lot of jewelry also?
No, I wear the same diamond earrings I've had for 10 years. I have a James Avery necklace and my wedding ring, and that's it.
Okay.
But I love jewelry.
But are you emotionally attached to it?
I used to be emotionally attached to my items.
Yeah.
About a year or two, I broke that habit because I was like, I don't wear these. Why am I attached? Like that was a very big mental shift. Like,
yeah,
I don't really care. And so best offers, I added best offers, and then I just I'm like tech. It's a decent offer. I take it. Let's move it. I want that revenue, that profit, so I can flip it and buy something else and make more profit. Like, just keep moving.
But that's what I'm wondering, if people get attached and then they want every penny and then they don't sell it, and then because like if you find a really cool, we looked at that the dragon brooch yesterday.
Yeah,
it's cool. You could get attached to it and be insulted by a $20 offer when you have it listed for $39.99. But you could also go ahead.
She had a story on that one because she doesn't sell jewelry.
Yep.
Her daughter found it.
Yep.
Like to her, that was like a big find for her daughter.
Right.
Like there was a history. There was a history to it.
Right.
Me, oh, it's cool. Okay, let me see how fast it can sell.
Yeah.
It's a very different mentality where she's wanting to have that story as I sold it for $50.
That's what I wonder. If you go out and you find something because you uncovered it under a rock in somebody's backyard and it has this huge significance, can you not let it go?
Yeah, I could now, but years ago I couldn't. Like, I got a watch, because I do watches also, a unique Seiko watch. It's called and I did have to research it, and I knew it was worth money. It took me about maybe 2 minutes to research. It's called a Panda, and it's because it's a white face with black circle dials, and they go for $250, $300. Well, I took an offer within 24 hours of $199. Heck yeah, I paid $4 for it. Why hold out for the high dollar? But a lot of people would think, oh, I want that extra $50. But that, I made almost, 150 bucks, 175 bucks, I can turn around and buy, 100 more watches.
Mhm.
Well, maybe not 100 more, but you know what I mean.
I do. Yeah, I think that that's great. What would help you list more, trusting your price bucket and not trying to
Yes.
get every penny is massive. Somebody in the chat was asking me why I don't want to sell high priced items. This is why. As an example, last year when we started this group, I bought 11 Nintendo Switches that I made $30 on, and I paid $300 each. Okay, so I paid $300 to make $30. I sold all of them in an hour, right? So they all sold out. One of them, there was fraud, and I lost $330. So I made $330 and I had $330 worth of fraud, and I broke even on $3,000 in purchases. The problem for me with high priced items is there's more fraud, there's more returns. It depends on like electronics by itself has more fraud, especially a brand new Nintendo Switch. But on a $20 item, I don't have any headaches, and they can just keep it if something is wrong with it. Or it's easier to train, and there's unlimited supply. It's hard to buy lots and lots of expensive items. It's hard to train for that. It's hard to scale. If you are a tiny store under 1,000 items, then you can just go find all expensive rare items. But if you're trying to train people, it's really hard. That's why McDonald's is the most successful restaurant in the world. It's not because they have the best burger. It's because they make the same mediocre burger everywhere in the world, over and over again. But let's go with Michelle. Michelle, good morning. Can you chat? What would help you list more?
Another hand or two.
So what would I do if I came to help you for 10 hours a week?
What would I make you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've thought about this and I honestly don't know. I don't know. It depends on if it was you, I would probably make you list because you list the way I would list. If it's somebody that doesn't know, I would probably set them to doing all the busy work that is like in the background.
So the prepping.
Yeah.
So
That takes a ton of time.
It does take a ton of time. So getting items for you to photograph and list.
Yeah. Getting everything ready. Like if I had it all done, like this whole, like this is ridiculous and chaotic for me. That's why I sit this way.
That's why I have this fake background. It's beautiful, and that's what it looks like. No, but I do think that's right. A clean workspace.
Yeah. Well, and what my helper was over yesterday, and I ran out of work for her to do, so she ended up unpacking some inventory boxes for me. So, like, she did 3 boxes, and I ended up looking at it and going, "Oh, good God."
So, do you have project piles? Like things.
What do you mean project?
Things that need cleaning or a button or need something.
I don't do buttons anymore. No. I gave up on that, which I used to. Like I would go through my inventory and like I do have a stain pile, like stuff that I think I can get out if it's worth it. But I don't have a sewing pile anymore. I just redonate that stuff because it's not very often that I run across stuff like that. And I do all the laundry, so like everything gets cleaned.
Excuse me.
It goes because I can't stand the smell, so it's all gonna go in the wash anyway.
Does anybody use one of these button tools?
Somebody in this call does.
How do these work?
Like you stick the pointy part through the hole and grab the button and then pull it back through the hole.
All right, I'm gonna try it.
I was the one who sent it to you, Chris.
And
I it was the first time I used it and I loved it. I was a shirt presser at 16, so that was my first job. That's why I love clothes. But I got a 21 button cloak, and I was pretty thankful I had it when I did.
a 21 button cloak?
cloak. It's a velvet hooded cloak. It's one of those things that you tell us we shouldn't get, but it is pretty cool. So kind of gothic steampunk. What the heck is steampunk? But so anyways, that's what it is. And it was really great to have. So you stick it through the hole, you stick it through the button, and then you pull it right back through. It's awesome.
Kathy, what would help you list more?
Up my dose of Adderall. I have a problem. We're doing construction, so actually I just have a lot going on. I would, if I could just stay focused and sit. And also, I really like to list what I like to list. So I have, all right, the one thing I got from this group, the best thing, and I'm so thrilled about, is Tech and Sports said, you have a pile on your left and you move it to the right. It was just like, ah. So I have 4 bins to the left of me, but I don't feel like I want to list anything that's in those bins. So that's it. If I could be focused, and if I could
Wait, why don't you want to list those items?
Probably because I'm breaking the rule of some of them just require research, or they're not as easy as other things.
Got you.
But I love shoes. Shoes is my favorite, so I think I probably just need to go out and get more shoes.
Got you. So yeah, that's interesting. What really slows people down is things that are not in their category, things that require more research, and there's money there, so you don't redonate them, but they also, you might not like listing them. My new thing is to list the items, if they're there, list the harder ones first, but I'm not really differentiating. I'll list a trench coat right after a t-shirt. That way it just gets done instead of spending that extra time to sort.
The days that I say I am not going to touch that next bin until I finish this are my best days. So I think you're right. And I will probably, that's what I'll do today, is pick my worst pile and I'll get them done. And I'm doing 10 a day, thanks to you guys also. So that's nice.
I love it. This is steampunk, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. It is very interesting. It's more of like a very gothic, long black velvet hooded with silver, very detailed silver buttons. Really, it's beautiful. I think I paid $7 for it, and I listed it for $100. Well, I'll take whatever anyone gives me for it.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go with Jason. Jason, what can help you list more items?
I think mostly what could help me list more items is just simple motivation. I don't seem to be motivated enough to list a lot of items. I think it's partly I'm just all on my own over here. And I used to be on the morning calls all the time, and that helped. But then I found out that it was better to go sourcing in the morning, especially if I'm going to thrift stores. So I started doing that. So it's just simple lack of motivation. More motivation will help me list more items.
What do you want? What do you like? What's your why? Why are you doing this?
I enjoy doing it, I guess, first of all, and also to make money. And it seems like I'm primarily a realtor, but I wanted a second source of income. So that's why I do it.
That's super weak, Jason. That's why you're not motivated. You need a stronger why.
Yeah, I agree.
Just making money is like the weakest. Like, for example, let's say you wanted to be the best golf club seller in Arizona. Wait, what state are you in?
Florida.
So, wow, it's even better for golf. So if you want to be the best golf club seller in Florida, that mission is really hard. So you would wake up and have this like awesome, larger than you motivation thing. And I think it's not that, I don't know why I'm relating this to an AA meeting, but like in AA meetings, you have to have a greater power. Otherwise you can't break the addiction. And right now everyone is addicted to just like being lazy. So you need this like bigger vision of like, I want to retire in 5 years, or I want to X amount. And I think that huge, you need a huge force. Otherwise it's hard to stay motivated every day.
Yeah.
Shiloh, go ahead.
I agree with you. I just want to, yeah, I need a, I used to be doing the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And so that was motivation, because I would teach what I learned, and people were following me.
Yep.
And it was greater than myself. I wasn't just doing it for myself. So that was something I did.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. Anytime that you are losing motivation, typically it's because you're thinking about yourself. And that's a huge problem, because what you want always changes. So being selfish sucks, because let's say you really want this dress and then you go buy that dress. Now you want something else. Your motivation just changed. So it's easier to think about other people, to be honest. If you're like, oh, I want to do this so this person can be taken care of, it's easier. Let's switch to Patty for a moment. Patty, can you chat? What would you, she says she needs a sister wife. What would you have the sister, if I was your sister wife, what would you have me be doing all day? Hopefully she can chat.
Sorry, I started talking without unmuting. My coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
Yep.
It's been a crazy 2 days for me. I'd
What
have
I-
you taking photographs.
But that's not, you'd have your sister wife take photographs for you? No.
Oh no, if I had a wife, oh no, she'd be doing the kids, the cleaning, the calling the teachers, making appointments, taking people to doctors, cooking for my mom, doing everybody's laundry, paying the bills, you know,
I see.
arranging the contractors, getting the lawn done, you know, all that stuff, putting away all the laundry, yeah. I need a sister wife.
How,
So, yeah.
What does it, I don't have a sister wife either, but I'm wondering what
Yeah,
that,
you have a wife. See,
I
that's the
wonder-
bonus. You just have a wife.
I wonder what happens. Like if you have somebody come help, how does that even work to have people help you with housework? Like,
Well,
is
I
that
mean,
people?
I have a
Go ahead.
cleaning lady, but I mean, she comes like every 2 weeks. I mean, thank God, because otherwise, like, you know, like heavy cleaning, like cleaning bathrooms and showers and floors and all that, it probably wouldn't get done. It's just been a busy 2 days, and there's just a lot of stuff going on, and I got another, you know, pallet coming today, so it's busy. That's all.
I have seen some really creative stuff. I've seen people who every family member has one bowl, one knife, one fork, and their name is on it. And then the kids are required to clean their own dishes. I've seen people where they only use paper plates as a family because they just don't want to deal with dishes at all. I've seen so many different ways of people just trying to get more time in their day, because that's like, if you have more time, usually you can list more items than that. Really, you know, it's hard to run a household.
It would just be nice if I could wake up in the morning and just get dressed and go to work and get my work done. But it's not. It's 5 million other things all, you know, and then I can go to work.
So
And
I
so
had
work just keeps getting pushed off. So I'm just annoyed that I am literally have not been able to do anything for 2 days.
so there was another Shane in this group that had a goal at his why was to get away from his kids. So he was like, at $2,000 profit, I want to be able to afford a babysitter. So one night we can have a date night and not be with the kids at all. So $2,000 was the babysitter one night a week. $3,000 was the cleaning lady. $4,000 was the gardener. Every single time they gained $1,000 in profit, they added one more person to help them in their household, which was cool. They scaled really fast because I think that date night was the most motivating thing, because they're like, they hadn't taken a date night for like such a long time. And then they made that their profit goal, because that's more important than making more money. You need something that moves you to go do things. And Patty, you've got a lot going on and you have multiple boys. So
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing is yeah, I'm annoyed I haven't been able to get any work done for the last 2 days, but this business has also given me the ability to you know, Monday having to spend literally like all day in the ER with my mom. And then I came home, and then my husband went for a run and he broke his foot. So then I was back in the ER all night long. So I was literally in the ER from like 9 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning. So, and then yesterday was taking my mom and my husband to like doctor's appointments. So, you know, bad I didn't get to work on my business, but good that I have this business. I still made money because I still sold stuff, yes, you know, Monday and Tuesday, but, you know, and I had the time. I didn't have to call and, you know, talk to a boss or get it approved by a manager that I had to take 2 days off of work. So,
You know, that running story where is your husband healing? How's he doing?
yeah, he broke his foot, you know, so he's in a walking cast. It's the same bone that he had broken like in 2003, and it was like fused together and had like pins in it, but now it's just broken in a different spot.
You know, I went to get new running shoes and I asked the guy what running shoes I should wear, and he said, well, at your age you could just be running and just there goes your ACL. And I'm like and I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, you just buy the shoes that prevent injury. And I'm like, wow, you insulted me and gave me advice to what shoes to buy. So it was great.
No, there's a running store in Palos, Illinois. It's called Running for Kicks, and the guy has like run, I don't even know like how many hundreds of marathons, and probably every good runner in the Chicagoland area goes to him for shoes, because you're not allowed to pick out your shoes. He puts you on a treadmill, or he watches you run outside and he sees how you run, and then he comes out with the shoes in your size, and then he has you try them all on, and then he has you run in them, and then he watches you run, and he goes through the whole process with you. And then like you don't get a color choice, you don't get, this is what's the best thing for your shoes. And then once you do that, like you'll never, like you just kind of trust the guy. Like I've walked in and be like, oh, I've had this problem, and he's like, here, and he hands you the shoes to. So
wow, imagine if I went to Brian's house and I was like, Brian, I watched the way that you list shoes. No shoes ever again. You're only gonna allow to list these things because I watched the way that you list.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
So, but yeah, no, yeah, I would have you do photographs. I need all my photographs done.
Fair enough.
So that's where I'm lacking, is being able just to get everything photographed. Once it's photographed, I can list it and put it away. That's not a problem.
Okay. Let's go. I'm going to call on Eduardo. Eduardo, what's up? If I came to help you, how would I help you list more items?
Wow, if you came to help me.
Yeah. I'm on my next flight to Panama. What do I do?
I would have to train you, man, to listen. Well, I would actually I would have you help me review my process so that I could be better. I don't honestly have a job for you right now. Like if you were coming, I don't have something for you to help me with at the moment. Talking about making things faster, I've been doing this for past weeks, but I've been getting better at it. And it's sorting not only pictures, because we have everything mixed down in different categories, but we're sorting it into the same category, same kind of items, so that we can list faster. But also is the challenge of taking the pictures, because I have somebody full-time taking pictures all day long. It's also getting that person to line up with this idea so that the new pictures that are being produced, as I'm sorting all the pictures that were produced a long time ago, that he's also now taking the pictures in order, like in the same styles, the same items, the same types of stuff, so that when it's time to list, it's quicker, because it does take time. But even like right now during the call, I just processed 3,824 pictures into categories. And now after the call is done, I'm just going to start listing like by type: American Girl, Barbie, Batman, just as quick as I can, because now it's all organized. And when I click Batman, I have everything Batman right there, and I don't have to be jumping around like 3 Batmans, 1 strawberry shortcake, 2 Barbies. It's just,
so it's Eduardo, do you like your listing process?
I my listing process.
Yeah.
I do like it.
Okay. Because I don't think you would need to train me. I think you could put down, you give me how many, you're doing 10 listings a day right now with toys?
No, 25.
Okay. 25 toys a day. I think on my first day with no training, I could list 25 toys and take all the pictures myself. So how many photographs is the person taking each day, the person that's full-time photography?
About between 1,000 and 1,500 pictures.
And how many pictures per toy?
6.
Okay, so let's see, 1,000, or let's go 1,250 divided by 6. So that's 200 items he's taking photographs of each day.
And sometimes even more.
Okay, so
But
let's
that
just
would
say,
be the least.
let's say 200 minimum. So every single day you have 175 items of pictures added to the queue. So you're getting further and further and further behind because those are getting older and older and older. And right after you take the pictures is when you know the item the best because you just took the pictures. Why doesn't that person only do 25 sets of pictures or 50 sets of pictures? They list 25 and then you list 25 and now you just doubled the amount of listings that you had. Because if you just took the photos, you can definitely list the item. It's like you just took the photos, you remember all the details and features. But some of the pictures are some of your pictures months old?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you remember if you were listing it?
Because I don't need to remember. Like, remember what?
What it is that you just photographed.
I mean, the moment I see the picture, I know what it is. Like, it's right there.
I see.
If it's like for example, if it's a Spider-Man, for example, Spider-Man action figure, the minute I see the picture, it says it right there.
I see.
Spider-Man action figure, whatever series, you know. So the only thing that takes time is looking up the item to see what's the value instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to do $5.99. Like if I say, okay, I got all of these for $1, so if I want to make $10, I'll sell them at, you know, $12.99 each or $15.99 each and take an offer. I could do that, but then I would be losing if some of these are worth 50 or 60. So I have to look them up, and that's the part that slows down. And that is why I'm trying to put them in order so that when I'm going to list it, I don't have to be in like researching.
So how long does it take you to look up a Spider-Man toy?
An
hour?
No, I would say less. A couple of minutes, like 10, 20 minutes, maybe less. It depends on the item, but yeah.
Well, Eduardo, it takes you 20 minutes to look up a single Spider-Man toy?
No. I mean, I'm saying you look it up, you see how many sold. What's the like? It really sometimes you can't find it.
Yo, dude, you have. Okay, so how many items photoed do you have in the queue that are already photoed, ready to go?
Ooh, over 150,000.
150,000?
Yeah, it's a lot.
We have 150,000 items photographed, ready to go. And you're doing 20 a day.
I can't do more, man.
Are you serious? Any minute, any. Okay, I'm not going to swear.
I dare you or Chris.
Eduardo, yeah, you're the only one that knows all this stuff. You're the subject matter expert. Any minute you're in the office, not looking at those photos and listing them, you are wasting time because you make money by getting stuff up. You're doing 20 a day. You're doing 20. You have 150,000 items photographed, dude. That's on.
I know it's literally
if
like
150,000 I photographed, I would just hire VAs like Jacob Samuel's doing and get everything listed. What are you doing, dude?
It doesn't work.
Hey, Eduardo.
Yeah, you're the only person that can do it. You're the only person that can do it, which is why you need to do it. No one else needs to do it.
Right.
Eduardo.
Remember, I have my real estate business. I have my IT business. I have my family. I have stuff going on, and I'm kind of like, you know, like like what's her name that was talking earlier? Like I'm doing a ton of things. I'm trying to focus only on this. Then I hire an
Well, then
assistant
quit all
that's taking
those.
care of stuff.
Quit all that stuff.
Well, I mean, Eduardo, if you didn't take any more pictures, it would still take you 21 years to list those items. If you didn't take any more photos, it would still take 21 years to list what you have right now. Because and going back to the research time, because that is your bottleneck. Your bottleneck is the amount of time it takes you to research. Because as a subject matter expert, it should not take you 10 minutes to look up how much an item is worth. It should take you 1 minute. So for you, because you should know exactly what to be looking for. Like as an example, let's do the Spider-Man example. If you go to eBay and you type in Spider-Man, it's going to give you an idea. Is this an action figure, an accessory, or is it a comic book? So you can start here. There's 72,000 items for Spider-Man. That's actually not that many. So you can come through here, look at how people would search. I'm not a Spider-Man expert, but I could go through here and say, okay, maybe it's an action figure part. Go through here. Let's say it's an arm. So I'm looking at this arm. So let's say it's a Iron Man arm. Actually, I don't know why that's showing up for sponsored listings. Let's go to another. Let's see. So negative suit. Okay, so there's let's say I found a negative suit. There's only 6 for me to compare. Then I have this in my hand. I'm sure you have some kind of a template for selling toys. Find one. So the prices here are between $17 and this is a full bodysuit that's $174. So depending on this, I would make a judgment of what I want to sell my item for. That took 30 seconds. It cannot take you that long to okay, how much time do you have to list per day?
Okay, so that's what I was gonna say. Like per day, I dedicate about 4 hours tops to listing.
Okay, 4 hours.
Basically,
that's a lot.
Yeah, 4 hours is what.
Okay, so 4 hours, you're listing 5 an hour. That's exactly right. You're right on the money. It takes you 10 to 20 minutes to list one item. That's 5 per hour. That's 12 minutes per item. And that's the bottleneck. As an expert, it shouldn't take you 12 minutes to list an item. Michelle?
Eduardo?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, I got a question. Do you have other people starting drafts for you? Or do you do it all yourself?
No, I do. Right now, the listing, I'm doing it myself.
What could they maybe start some drafts for you and then you do the main part where you have the.
I was doing that initially, but then it would be more complicated because it would take more time, because then I would go to the drafts and see that there were errors, and then I would have to correct the errors and go back and do it again. And it's like, I'll just do it myself. That's why I stopped doing that, because I had actually my assistant that's doing a bunch of stuff. She was dedicating a couple hours a day to just doing drafts for me. But then when I get to the draft, it's like, okay, I have to correct this, correct that. And I was training her, and we were like making it better, but it still takes time. And then she would list, like, for example, like if you take one Barbie and you're listing all of her accessories, then basically what happened was that she would make 10 drafts. The skirt, the top, the shoes, the bag, like all the stuff for her, it would be 10 listings. She would do the 10 listings, and I discovered 3 errors. So I have to now manually check or correct every error in all the 10 listings. So it's like, what's it? Forget it. I'll do it myself.
Dude, what's an error in a Barbie accessory?
She would have errors in the category. She would have
but like, what's an error? Like, it had 5 hairs instead of 2 on the hairbrush.
The title be written the wrong way, even though I had told her how to do it. Like I've been training her to do it, but
dude, you have 150,000 items.
I know.
If a couple of them are messed up and you're losing $2 on them, who cares?
Eduardo?
Yeah.
Simple question. Do you put your items together? Like you said, strawberry shortcake. Do you put all your strawberry shortcakes together? If you, in a bunch, like if you're going to sit down today, do 20 strawberry shortcakes so you can store some keystrokes, save some keystrokes?
Right. Yeah, I do that.
Michelle, feedback?
Edward, okay, I'm gonna give Eduardo like a pass because last night he decided he's gonna drop the price on some of his stuff and switch over to 1 day handling. So he's making progress, guys, for one thing. And part of the issue is that he wants everything to be perfect and he wants to get every penny he can. So he doesn't do a search like that, Chris. What he's doing is he's doing a search on eBay. He's not finding the exact same item. So then he's looking at all of his other sites that he knows where it might be and Googling it and spending 20 minutes trying to find this little tiny piece to get every stinking penny out of it when he needs to just start trusting his gut. And that's hard. You have to give up the control of maybe losing a buck or two or 10. You may lose $10, Eduardo, but it's listed and you're losing all of the money right now because it's not getting listed. If you speed up and just trust yourself, which is something that I struggle with too, you'll be able to put up 50 or 60 or 70 or 100 a day.
No, but yesterday's call, what Eduardo said gave me nightmares. It literally kept me up because he said he's not afraid of work. And I was thinking to myself, what you're doing is you spend 99% of your time deliberating and thinking of, because the 20 listings for you should take less than 1 hour. So of the 4 hours that you have listing, 3 or more of those hours are thinking about things that don't matter. I want you to focus on, because like, I don't need any training. I could look at toys that I've never seen before and still list them in 2 or 3 minutes. Never seen that toy before in my life, but there are some markings. There is some kind of thing that can help me. There are things that can help me list once I know. And you know more than anyone else, so you can identify those markings quicker than most.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, and I totally agree. There's so many things that I need to change, and I'm changing.
Not so many things. No, it's just
like there's like three
but
things.
Okay, but wait. One of the things you say it should be quicker, but for example, I've been a GI Joe collector for a long time, so I know that line, and that's what I've been listing lately. A lot of that. But anyway, that being said, if you take Star Wars now, and it's a little bit of what Michelle was saying, if you take Star Wars and you get a sword, it's not just like I'll look it up and that's it, because that sword has 8 different variants. And it could be real or it could be fake. And I don't know Star Wars that well, so I have to research, I have to read, I have to figure out. I contact people who are experts and I ask them. So it's not as, and why? Because if you sell that sword for $180 and it's the wrong one, or it's a fake one, or it's not version 2 and it's version 3, then you get negative feedback, you get people complaining, you get
Eduardo, that has to be extra in your day though. That can't be part of your regular listing process. You need to have a goal of 50 listings a day, and they all have to be easy, and then you put like 2 or 3 research items on the end of your day.
This can't be an Eduardo consulting call. That was last night's call. like Eduardo, there's 3 things you need to do. You need to list constantly, because you have 150,000 items. You need to change it so you have 1 day handling time. And quite honestly, I think we need proof today. At the end of the day, like post it on the thing, you've changed your stuff to 1 day handling time. Because if the US makes up 60% of your sales, and you currently have 15-day handling, I wouldn't order a single item ever from anybody who has 15-day handling time, and you're still getting 60% of your sales from the US. You will triple, quadruple your sales just by not having 1 day handling time. I mean, dude, wake
that's
up.
what I think I'm going to do. I already put it in the group already for accountability.
Okay.
Let's
switch gears. Let's go. Thank you, Thomas, for bringing us back. Let's go. Deanna, good morning.
Good morning.
How can you list more items?
Well, I have been working on getting faster, and I've just been trying to do everything that's come up as far as what other people are doing and how can I incorporate that into what I'm doing. So by timing myself, I realized how slow I was on things, and I realized a lot of other things. And now I'm trying to prep things better ahead of time. And that now I'm realizing what the problem is there. And also since I have been listing, I'm up to 10 a day. So that's huge for me too. But by doing that, I'm getting more into my depth shelves of books. And I'm realizing that I need to be way pickier, way more picky. I don't know what the correction is, but I need to be pickier on what I'm picking up in the first place and just leave a lot more stuff so that I don't have to prep it. And I do have access to that kind of stuff. It's not like I don't. I shouldn't act like it's scarce either. But now that one thing that I think it was Mandy said in the beginning, one thing about my listing process, now that it's faster and the price is, now that I'm faster, I'm not as attached to my price because it didn't take me as long. Whereas before, I'd look at the price, I'd get an offer and think, yeah, that took me an hour and I can't take lower or whatever it is. And that would just get in my head and all that. Now I know that I'm not spending a lot on my stuff. And if it's not taking me a long time, then I can take a lower price and feel okay about it. And my shipping isn't too bad either. That's the other thing I have been working on, and it's getting better, is list stuff that's quick to ship so that I'm not tied up with what box do I use. I'm getting a box out, the boxes I've ordered from eBay. If I'm putting a group of books together, I'm putting what fits in that box. And if I have extra, then I have to decide, do I get another box that I have, or I just go with what I have, which is what I'm trying to do, just go with what fits in the box. So by making what I have done faster, I've been able to see what are the problems that has kept that from happening. The other thing I was going to say is, since we've been doing this 15 minutes before the call, trying to list something, I thought, well, I'll take something that I think is going to take 15 minutes and do it then. And if it needs more time or whatever. Well, those things I've picked out have taken a lot longer than 15 minutes. So that's really eye-opening that, that I've got to get rid of those things too, or something, figure out how to do those faster. But I have gotten rid of a lot of stuff that, I'm trying to just niche down like everybody is doing. And, it is hard. It's been a mindset change for me too. And I didn't think my mind needed to be changed, which is maybe that's part of the problem too. But it's just been, a journey on coming around to some of these things that it's not like some of this information is new, but sometimes it does take time to just let it sink in and come around. So
thank you so much for sharing that. I'm actually going to end the call on that thought, because the greatest eBayer of all time, as far as the person that sold the most items, is E4 City. This Jack Sheng, I met him. He was doing 12 to 16,000 orders a day, every day for like 10 years. And his philosophy is every single item ships in the exact same poly mailer. He has a 4-ounce poly mailer, and he's like, I'm going to find everything on earth that I can sell for a profit that fits in here, because I don't want to deal with anything. Every single item ships the exact same way. They're all the same size, one storage system. And imagine that, because if it's all shipping the same way, that already eliminates so much of the thinking for you. And it eliminates, when you only sell items that are 4 ounces and less, it eliminates 99.9% of items. You start to really narrow in your focus when you only do things one way. So thinking about streamlining and selling similar items is massive, because there's a billion items on eBay. There's so many. And what we need to do is all categorically shrink. Only sell this, only sell that. There are plenty of people who make a full-time living selling just one category. You could just sell sweaters. You could just sell toasters. You could just sell cassettes. But I appreciate everyone's time. I think the way to list things faster is definitely batching, purchasing similar things, doing things a similar way. And every time you have to deliberate and think about, what should I price this at? What's it worth? Which one exactly is it? You're slowing yourself way down. And I think that's a good point, really, on the 15 minutes. Before the call, everyone should pick their hardest item and just get that done before the call and see how long it really takes. I didn't realize there were things that could take longer than 15 minutes. So let's share that on the group tomorrow. let us know what the things that take you the longest to list are, and then we'll go from there.